They're all in. Signadom on the fence. There's the lights on now. And they're racing, and Signadom on the fence, one of the best to begin. Tornate's Jim was slow to come out of the gate and is absolutely last of all. Unsaddling down and galloping up the rise past the 1,000, and Signadom was bearing his molars to the breeze about a half length in advance of Roderick. Back in third place, 3 parts of a length away is Our Ward. Up at the head of the others then would have been Guido's Gift, being followed by Beau Dash. Ladeau was 3/4 of a length, now a length and a half further back, being followed by Prime Sun. A gap of about 3 lengths further back is Toby's Town, and a very bad last of all is Tornate's Jim. As they made the run towards the 500, and Signadom on the fence, a neck to the good of Roderick on the outside with a length further back, poised behind them Our Ward. At the head of the others, coming into it rather rapidly, would have been Beau Dash, and a gap further back then came Guido's Gift, being followed by Prime Sun. But around the turn for home, and Our Ward near the outside has got to the front. Signadom is gone. Back in third place, Guido's Gift, but Our Ward clear. Here comes Beau Dash along the centre with a big run, but they wouldn't get to this one, Our Ward. He's going as straight as a gun barrel, and Our Ward has won it well from the fast finishing Prime Sun Beau Dash. Ladeau was at the head of the others. Back on the fence then would have been Guido's Gift, being followed then by Signadom. A long way back in the event then would have been Toby's Town, alongside of Roderick, and last to pull up in the event would have been Tornate's Jim. But no doubt about the winner. Always travelling. And they're racing this time in world class near the fence, and over to the outside, beginning rather quickly, would have been Tornate's Pride. A little further out then, Monterey Maiders moving up quickly at the head of the others. Return Call being fired by Big Profit. Alamana was a half length away. A gap of a length and a quarter further back as Balaniska moving up rapidly, being followed then on the fence by Kalia. And last of all is Dimiene. As they made the corner by the 900 and came up the side of the track, and on the fence Tornate's Pride is just the leader. Monterey Maiders travelling well. There is Balaniska going forward over near the outside, and in the centre Alamana being fired up the head of the others then. Along the inside rail would have been World Class, being followed by Return Call. As they came along to sneak their bibs around the corner, and Tornate's Pride on the fence is just the leader. Monterey Maid on the outside is starting to stretch out generously, and further out Alamana being followed then by Dimiene down the outside, inside the distance, and Tornate's Pride is clear. In second place is Monterey Maid, and right down the outside World Class, and Dimiene is finishing fairly well, but Tornate's Pride is too good and beat Alamana. Mermaid Maid in third place. A gap for the back and behind them then probably would have been Return Call, being followed then by Kalia. A gap for the back behind them then World Class Weekend, followed by Big Profit, and last to greet the judge in the event was Balaniska. But no doubt about the top weight, it looked as if they were... And by. They stand well. Not quite ready as yet, obviously.
Light on.
Now the light comes on. And they're racing, and Shamani, New York Boy, were the two best to begin. Off early, got away well, and Convinces going up quickly, being followed by Glacial Stream wide out. Bald Hill Bow at the head of the others, followed by Domino Dan. Then came the steeplechase at Tula Bench, and dropping out last of all at this stage of the trip would have been Aqualantic. As they gallop out of the straight and around the first corner and go down towards the 1400, and Shamani, who drew the inside rail, is the leader. Shamani, with its mouth wide open like a codfish calling for its young, was a length and a quarter clear of Glacial Stream. Back in third place, travelling very well on the inside rail is New York Boy, and Convince on the outside of it. A length and a half further back then would have been Off Early. A gap of 2 1/4 lengths further back is Domino Dan. On the inside of rail then would have been Tula Bench. 2 1/2 lengths away to Bald Hill Bow and Aqualantic. Glacial Stream had got to the front, racing past the 1,000. ground and led Shamani by a length and a half with the next further back New York Boy, and a headway further back on the outside, moving up quickly off early. At the head of the others, Chula Bench being followed by Convinced Domino Dan. A neck further back on the inside rail would have been Bald Hill Bow, and going between them Aqualantic. Glacial Stream was being taken on for the lead, 700 metres left to run by one over near the outside, going forward very quickly New York Boy, and in the centre off early, and soon after off early's got the head in front of Glacial Stream. 3 parts of a length further back is New York Boy, and at the head of the others Aqualantic being followed then by Convince under the whip. On the inside rail then, moving up would have been, but under the cane would have been Shamani, as they came along to make their way around the turn for home, and off early over near the outside has got to the front now from Glacial Stream. Aqualantic in third place, Shamani is poking away down the inside rail, and over near the outside Domino Dan and Aqualantic are finishing well off early in front. Aqualantic and over near the outside Domino Dan, but off early has won it. Off early has won the event. In second place probably Domino Dan, then third would have been Aqualantic, being followed by Convince. At the head of the others then came Shamani, a gap further back to Glacial Stream, a fair way back was Bald Hill Bow, and last to greet the judge on the event would have been New York Boy. Wait for judges' official placings for place getters after the running of the Flinders Hotel class. And this time they're racing, and the best to begin missing top from the fence. Dizzy Majors moving up quickly on the outside of him, and just in behind them then would have been Freystar, being followed by Norfolk Squire. A gap of about 3 lengths for the back, and the event is Crescent Ray, and last of all in the race was Barratry Babe. As they gallop past the winning post and make their way into the first corner, taking them across towards the 1400, and there's not a great deal of pace on. You'd almost keep up to them on a punctured bicycle, where the leader was Dizzy Major, about a length and a half in advance of Missing Top, with a similar distance further back to Freystar. A length and a half further back behind him then is Norfolk Squire. Crescent Ray was second last, and Barratry Babe is still last. At a rather leisurely run sort of a race as they came towards the 1200, and Dizzy Major was the pilot. He was bearing his molars to the breeze, a little more than 2 lengths in advance now of Missing Top. 2 1/4 lengths further back behind them then would have been Freystar, being followed by Norfolk Squire. Crescent Ray was second last, and last in the event was still Barratry Babe. They go up the hill, 900 metres left to run, and Millions riding this leader a treat, Dizzy Major. He was out 2 1/2 lengths in advance of Missing Top, a length and 3 parts further back then. Gaining a bit of ground would have been Freystar, back on the fence, saving every little bit of inch of ground, but going up on the outside soon after, though, as he switched around them, was Norfolk Squire. Crescent Ray is second last, and Barratry Babe. Dizzy Major in front, 500 metres left to run. Norfolk Squire on the outside is laying down the gauntlet, and immediately went to his girth. Back in third place, Missing Top. Here comes Crescent Ray, being followed by Freystar, and last is Barratry Babe. As they came along to sneak their bibs around the corner, and Dizzy Major in front, flashing down the outside, would have been Norfolk Squire, being followed then by Missing Top and Crescent Ray. Dizzy Major still in front with 100 metres left to run. Norfolk Squire wouldn't get to him in a week, and Dizzy Major's led all the way to beat Norfolk Squire, Missing Top, Crescent Ray, Barratry Babe. And last to greet the judge on the event would have been Freystar. A tip-top ride per medium of Corey Mallion. You don't see jockey. They're ready to jump. They're racing this time, and Sun Game near the fence and over near the outside of the field are moving up quickly. Would have been Show Off Ladder. They were the joint leaders. Cindy View going up very quickly as well, and Bellstone Fox is just behind them. At the head of the others would have been Merrymaker, being followed by Sun Game, who's dropped back a little bit in the field, and last at this stage of the trip is Bronze Moccasin. As they settle fully into stride, and you'd almost keep up to them on a pair pair of stilts as they make their way towards the 1400. Not a great deal of pace on, and so much so that Bellstone Lad has whipped around the outside, and soon after he was bearing his molars to the breeze. About a length and 3 parts in advance now of on the inside rail is Cindy's View, and moving up quickly on the outside of him is Sun King, and in the centre travelling up very rapidly at this stage of the trip then would have been one along the inside rail, and that was a Merry Maker. But as they make their run into the back of the track and came underneath with what would be around about the 1,000, and bowling along in front, the leader was Bellstone Fox. Bellstone Fox, the pilot, in second place, travelling very well, would have been Oakley Jack, and just in behind them then, starting to move around the outside quickly, is Sun Game. A gap for the back is Cindy's View, being followed then by Show Off Lad going forward quickly. Merry Maker's dropped out second last, and Bronze Moccasin last of all as they made their way towards the 600, and Sun Game has got to the front. Sun Game was just the leader now. Over near the outside, coming into it rather quickly, would have been Cindy's View, nicely positioned in behind them then would have been Oakley Jack as they came along to make their way around the home turn, and Sun Game is the leader. Oakley Jack in second place, and Cindy's View on the outside. Show Off Lad being followed by Bellstone Lad, but in the stretch and getting down past the distance, and Oakley Jack after this other one, Sun Game, and Cindy's View is coming down the outside like a sheet of lightning. Oakley Jack in front. Oakley Jack is doing better. One flying on the inside rail was the Show Off Lad, but Oakley Jack has beaten Show Off Lad. Cindy's View, Sun Game. A gap for the back behind them then would have been a Merry Maker. A long way back in the event was Bronze Moccasin, and last to great the judge undoubtedly would have been Bellstone Fox. The judge has called for the photo. Photo has been called for to detect dispatchment, and one of the best served Strong C going up quickly, Miss Probine. Over on the outside, Sedan got away well, then came Superior Native. 3 parts of a length for the back as Pamelina, and Dormac was last of all. Up the rise they travel, 900 metres left to run, and on the inside rail, Strong C just the leader now from Sedan. 2.5 lengths for the back, travelling well, Miss Probine being followed then at the head of the others on the inside rail by Pamelina. Superior Natives on the outside, and Dormac was last of all as they make their way along past the 600, and the grey has poked his bib in front. Sardan, he's a half head to the good now of on the fence, travelling equally as well, Strong C. There goes Miss Probine quickly around them up into a forward berth. Behind them Pamelina being followed then by Superior Native and Dormac as they came along to sneak their bibs around the corner, and Sardan is just the leader. Miss Probine in the twinkling of an eye, a shot through in the centre, and Miss Probine is clear inside the distance. Dormac is coming home with a withering run, and so is Pamelina, but you're both too late, brother. And in the run to the judge, Miss Probine has won it well from Dormac. Pamelina third, Superior Native followed by Sedan, and Strong C was last to greet the judge in the event. Wait for judges' official placings, but there is no element of doubt about the winner. Stand by. Flashing away, indicating they're ready. Guest being followed by In Tears. He's forced to go for the whip on this 1 million. Dame Swift, and it's nicely clear with 100 metres left to run. And he's coming away to record a treble on Dame Swift. Dame Swift has beaten Swing Girl. Maxi Farr got up for third In Tears. And last to greet the judge in the event was Carmen's Guest. Wait for judges' official placings, but the top weight was far too good for them, and it has won accordingly. Wait for the winning number.